Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another Reddit story for you. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Stopping My Daughter from Seeing My Mother-in-Law After She Violated Her Dietary Requirements? I, 29 female, have a 4-year-old daughter, Jody, and we are both vegetarian. I grew up veggie with a veggie mom, and I always knew my kids would be too. Recently, she has been refusing food, complaining she doesn't like it, etc. Hubby, 32 male, is not veggie. Sometimes he eats different things, and she'll ask to eat from his plate. He has broached the idea of her eating meat to see if that will help with the food issue, but I've shut it down, and I found it really hurtful. He has since apologized and dropped it. We had a routine checkup at the doctor's, and he said that she is a little underweight, not good but not uncommon for her age. He told me to feed her things that she will eat even if it's a little less nutritious to get her weight up. This frustrated me. It's not how I was raised. You eat what you get or you don't eat. But I have started allowing her more junk food, like crackers or bread crisps, etc. Me and hubby spoke and agreed that we could work towards her diet improving and being more nutritious, but for now it was more important to get her weight up. I thought everything was fine, and then she went for a visit to my mother-in-law's with my hubby. Normally, I love sending her there. Mother-in-law is good with her, and she always has a great time, so I thought nothing of it. I went to pick them up in the evening, and mother-in-law came to the door. She told me, excited, that Jody had cleared her plate and asked for seconds, which I was happy to hear, so I asked what she ate. Chicken nuggets. She fed my daughter chicken nuggets. I asked if they were vegetarian ones, which I still wouldn't have been happy with because I try not to feed her fried foods, but mother-in-law said no, they were real ones. I got so angry that I just had to grab Jody and get to the car. I would have left hubby there too if he hadn't followed us. I don't like arguing in front of Jody, so I waited until we got home and put her in bed, and then I just flipped. He said that mother-in-law was making chicken nuggets anyway. Obvious lie, no woman in her 60s has chicken nuggets for dinner. I don't know about that. And Jody asked if she could have some, and because mother-in-law was concerned for her health, she thought she should just say yes. I told him he could look after her if she got sick from the meat, and Jody wouldn't be going to grandma's house anymore. He had the audacity to get angry at me for that, as if I could trust that woman around my child again. He said that she was acting in Jody's best interest and followed the doctor's orders, giving her what she will eat. I am so angry that they are using her health issue as an excuse for what they did. He said that it would break mother-in-law's heart not to see Jody anymore, and I said she should have thought about that before feeding her meat. He threatened violence and called me a helicopter parent. I don't think I could even talk to mother-in-law at the moment, let alone send my child into her care again. But I don't want to lose my husband over this. Am I the astronaut? I'm not a vegetarian, wasn't raised a vegetarian. Candy Thunder's not a vegetarian, wasn't raised a vegetarian either. I feel like that's a choice. I feel like being a vegetarian is a choice. And I personally can't see myself, even if I had made the choice to be a vegetarian, forcing that choice upon my child. But I understand how someone who's a vegetarian would automatically raise their child to be one. Now, it'd be tough to like make meat for your kid if you're a vegetarian. I get it. I get it. So I get how kids end up being vegetarians if their parents are vegetarians because it's you're making what you make. I don't know. But if your child is refusing to eat, and yeah, kids can turn anything into energy and they can grow from anything. Obviously, you don't want to eat a ton of shit, but kids have this magical way of turning like a grilled cheese sandwich into 2 inches of growth and hair. I don't know how it works. I'm not a doctor, but I feel like being a vegetarian is a choice, and choosing it for your children, I don't know how I feel about that. But if your kid isn't eating, they need to eat something. I don't know. This is like a sensitive subject. So help me out. Vegetarians in chat, how do you handle it with your kids? Do your kids automatically become vegetarians? Do you just choose for them? How does that work? I do not know. But I also feel like if I was a vegetarian, I would automatically raise my kid to be a vegetarian. And I understand how that would happen, but it's not working out well. And also, Candy Thunder makes a really good point here. She said, why does dad not get a say in this decision? He's not a vegetarian. He's just automatically bowing down to OP's rule here, to his wife's rule, and saying that, oh, okay. So, but he's not. And if let's say this is a hereditary thing where if she's genetically predispositioned to be a vegetarian, if both of your parents were vegetarians, maybe, but they're not. So it would be like 50-50 here, right? And he was there. He okayed her eating the chicken nuggets. Doesn't he get a say in her dietary restrictions as well? So Candy Thunder also says here that she said she was hurt that he suggested that she eat meat. This is a two-way street, right? She got upset that he made a recommendation and said, like, she ate it, she loved it, she ate all of it, she wanted seconds. If we're having trouble getting her to eat right now and she wants this, clearly she is not ready to make this decision to be a vegetarian yet. And OP suggesting, or OP forcing her to be one, even though it is harming her ability to eat, leads to her choice to malnourish her child. Looking at the black and white of the situation. Now, again, I'm not a vegetarian. So, okay, well, let's say for a second that grandma's story is 100% legit and she was making chicken nuggets for herself. I know some 60-year-old women that would make chicken nuggets, and that's what we're having for dinner. It's not unheard of, like OP says it is. If she saw it, smelled it, decided she wanted it, and she decided to let her have it because she hasn't been eating much, or maybe mother-in-law was like, legitimately, if she won't eat and her mom is forcing her to be a vegetarian, maybe she's not a vegetarian. Maybe she would like to try meat. It was behind OP's back, but it wasn't behind her dad's back. And he is 50% here, right? He's a parent too. So it's just as bad as mom saying that she can't have it, dad saying that she can't. They're parenting against each other right now. Candy Thunder, Navy doesn't currently eat meat. She doesn't like it. We offer it. It's always available to her. She makes the choice not to eat it right now, which is, she still gets her protein, but it is, she could very well end up as a vegetarian just of her own volition here, just by choices that she makes. But withholding it from a kid and then the kid proving that they like it and eating well when they haven't been eating well, let's address the question here. The question of the story is, am I the astronaut for stopping my daughter from seeing my mother-in-law after she violated her dietary requirements? This is a gross misrepresentation. It is not a dietary requirement. I think that's part of the problem here. It's being presented as a dietary requirement when it is the proper description of it would probably be a dietary choice being enforced by mom that dad doesn't agree with. And let's follow the paths here. Let's say that this becomes a big enough deal to where they end up splitting up. Daughter ends up spending 50% of time here, 50% of time there. Unless there is a medical condition dictating that she not eat meat, she's not going to be able to control her not eating meat when she's with dad. She's not going to be able to have say over that. I don't think. This is not mother-in-law's fault. So yeah, OP, you are the asshole for stopping your daughter from seeing your mother-in-law after she violated her dietary requirements. Just based on the verbiage of the question that you're asking here, you are taking this too far. And this is a choice that you made for yourself that you've imposed on your daughter, even though her father is not a vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian, so I can't speak to how that works when you're raising kids, but I can say that since her dad is not one, this is inequality in parenting. And you, OP, are not taking his thoughts or his wishes or his recommendations into consideration at all. You are making 100% of the decision when you only have 50% of the say. And that's a problem. Unless there's some kind of medical reason for her to not eat meat, she's already proven that she let her make that choice on her own when she's ready to. And right now, you should be more concerned for the well-being of your daughter, the health of your daughter, than you are what kind of food that she's eating. And again, we're never going to agree on everything here. So I know that there are going to be some people out there that strongly disagree with this, and that's okay. We have different points of view, and that's what makes us human. To me, this is you being 100% selfish. OP. You are thinking about you and your preferences right now rather than your daughter's health. And that does make you the asshole. Probably much more so than you think it does. It's Halloween week. We got to do it. We got to do it. So my opinion here is that OP is the asshole, is being 100% selfish and inflating this situation because she feels like this is an attack against her personally, but she's thinking about herself and her own preferences rather than the well-being of her child. We're going to take a trip to AskOn 1, OP. Now, if you are a vegetarian, I am interested to know how you go about letting your kids make that choice, or do you make that choice for them? I'm not in that world, so I don't know. But if you are a vegetarian, when you are raising your kids, is that a choice you let them make themselves? Or do you try to sway them one way? Or if they end up wanting meat, do you let them have it? How does that work? I imagine it's complicated, but it's got to be about them.